Just Enough Heshy Show, and happy Hanukkah to all of you out there. And the sound is my fault. I know. He's going to scream at me, the producer. I'd like to welcome back my producer, my son who broke his leg. I can't tell you he's my son because he's embarrassed of me. I don't know what's wrong with him. When he says, "Pop, can I have an extra $60 for Uber Eats?" He's my son. I love you. All of a sudden, he's not my son. Anyways, welcome back to the show. We have an interesting show to talk. We have interesting things to talk about. One of my favorite people, Mr. Joe Biden, is getting impeached. Very happy. Look at Nicole already with flipping the eyes. You know how she does one eye up and down? You got to see this. Very cool. Can you put her on camera when she flips the eyes? I love you. You're so pretty.
With you, it happens every 60 seconds. It's not that special.
George is enjoying him. But we have a lot to talk about. We have many different subjects. We'll bring up a little bit about Israel. We're going to talk a little bit about the Trump party. Don't worry about it. George is looking at me. I'm going to say something bad about the party. I had a lot of other stuff to do. I didn't even go to the Republican Christmas party, but I'm going to go to George's Christmas. You know, George, I'm going to get a Christmas. You know, we don't have Christmas.
I just wanted to say for my Jewish people out there, it is officially a holiday party.
It's a holiday party. I want you to know, me and my sons, we never had a Christmas tree. But I'm getting a Christmas tree. I'm jealous. I want to get a Christmas tree, and I'm going to make it beautiful. I'm going to get the little, I learned about your religion. We're going to get the manger and the baby and the mother. And what I'm going to do is, I don't want to do it your way, because that's the poor thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the baby a nanny. You know what I mean? And for the mother, I'm going to dress her in an Armani suit.
Well, my daughter has a nanny, so that's
right. So I'm going to put the mother, Mary, in an Armani suit with high heels, look just like Nicole.
Oh, it'll look like Borough Park.
Borough Park. It'll be a Jewish Christmas. Well, how does it go? The snowflakes are falling. How does that
We haven't had one of those since Jesus was born.
I had a partner of mine, business partner. He used to have a Christmas tree. He was Jewish, and then he would put little Jewish stars on.
Yeah, just
something tells me, Heshy, you haven't watched the Chevy Chase movie with Clark Griswold. And
I did. I used to watch that all the time. That would be like that. Vacation, wasn't that Vacation?
Yeah, we should try that more. Heshy, that way better with the listeners.
Anyways, when I go on vacation with my family, trust me, Griswold is not like us. Okay?
I see you more as Al Bundy rather than Clark Griswold.
No. I'm cooking. Al Bundy does nothing. Linda is Al Bundy. She sits on the couch and does nothing.
No comment, Heshy.
Let's
move
and my
on
son
from
is
that.
even. What's the kid's name by Al Bundy? What's the kid's name?
Bud Bundy.
Bud. So
yes.
Avram is smart like Bud, but does nothing. Zero. Avram, can you take out the garbage? Yeah, I'll see. Don't worry about it. I'll take it out. Anyways.
Avram could cure cancer, and you'd still give him a hard time.
That's not true. You know who delivered Avram, right? I did. I caught him, and that was not a mistake. I purposely, with the finger.
He's actually right next to us.
I know that.
You're getting fact-checked in real time.
Oh, yeah. I want you all to know that I'm very upset about that. 3 years ago, COVID, I put a video on YouTube for 25 seconds, and I showed how COVID is wrong. 3 years later, they fact-checked me and blocked it out and took it off. Stupid. Is it just stupid? I mean, nobody's watching it anyways anymore. Even though I got a lot of hits on that one of the videos by the rallies.
Yes, I remember that very well. Yes, you did.
Right now, we got a couple of
You're getting in the way of Pfizer's balance sheet.
Yeah. Anyways, we're starting the show. We're going to welcome...
some new people here. I want to say hello to WN.
I didn't introduce anybody.
Oh, well, we
First, I want to introduce you.
We're at the 5 hour.
Well,
my name is Tom, just so in case you
welcome, Tom. Back.
How you doing?
You're very nice. And my wonderful, handsome, am I allowed to say that to you?
Yes,
because
of
I don't want
course.
to grab you.
I
You
have
should
an
have
ego.
seen him dressed at the Trump party in a suit and tie, and he brought his wife dressed. I don't want to say anything. She was gorgeous. I want you to know your wife was gorgeous.
Of course.
But
I wouldn't have it any other way.
And I said, George, you know, your wife is dressed a little immodestly. He says, no, I want to show off. I love you, Joe. I know, right? You see Nicole? Even Nicole agrees with me.
I've told my wife I'm a shallow human being.
Okay.
So
We know that. And Nicole, welcome back. You're so... please tell me the right word, because I can't do this woke thing anymore.
Attractive.
Is that allowed? That's allowed?
Guys, my daughter is watching this.
Okay, welcome back.
Well, you said some things worse than that, so I was like trying to think of something respectable.
You know what they told me now? I'm not allowed to say the word whore.
No, you were never allowed to say the word whore.
What?
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay.
What?
Thank
Well,
you.
I never
Well,
accepted.
obviously, Heshy, let's move on because obviously we have a special person.
We're going
Say,
to that.
we have a
Welcome to the
special
show.
caller on
I
the
want to
line.
give a shout out to my beautiful granddaughter Mira Nava, and to my beautiful granddaughter Layla and Yeshua. But I started dancing with him today, and he danced with me. He loves. I used to dance with my boys. So this is how you calm babies down. Everybody who becomes a father, you dance with the baby, and they're very good. And Sergeant Peter, I love you, and Ellie, I miss you. Anyways, go ahead, Tom. Don't you have shout outs?
Yes, but first of all, Heshy, your mic is a little low.
Of course, it's a little low.
So
why
okay,
is it low?
Well,
Can you make it louder? Oh, I'm not too close to the mic. Okay.
okay, well, there you go, Heshy. Just wanted
Wow.
to point it out from our friend Superfly. So I want to say hello to a few people out there. Obviously, Mr. Josh Bailey, who's listening as always. He's out there somewhere in the road. I want to say hello to my lovely friend Zena out there in Sheepshead Bay. I want to say hello to Superfly 10579 in Hot Water, Infinite Justice, Black Beauty. And also now our new people joining us on WNEW. This is a good one, Heshy, because I remember WNEW is
Yeah.
the rock and roll station.
Yeah,
And we
but
have
now it's 24-hour talk.
Now it's the 24-hour
and
Heshy
it's
talk
even in
station.
Miami.
Yeah.
We only get 1 hour.
I was trying to
but
make you
it's
feel
even
good,
in
sir.
Miami, and also we have a new station.
It's WIVP, I believe. it is.
VIP. No,
Yeah. We used to be on WVIP.
No, I know. Now
WJPR is in Miami.
in Miami
now.
now. People in Miami are listening to me.
WNEW is 102.5 FM.
102.7, 102.7.
I have 102.5 in the nose,
Oh,
but
yeah?
11:30 a.m. is also where you can catch us. And also, as always, I want to say hello to 620 WSNR.
SNR. That's our main thing. George, you have to say hello to Heidi.
I say hello to Heidi. Hi, Heidi. How you doing?
Hi, Heidi.
But I have a special shout out
Ooh.
to Dr. Mark Stein. He's the heads up the cancer program at Columbia Presbyterian.
Yeah, I hear good
Great
things
doctor.
about him. You're a
He's
good
from-
man.
And
He's an alcoholic.
No, he's not.
He
Definitely
drinks
not.
Blue
Oh, my
Label.
goodness.
Well, I bought him a
Grief.
Blue Label.
Oh,
because
so he's
he's
not an alcohol. I recommended that, by the way.
Yes, you
Dr.
did.
Stein, it's my gift. I mean, I didn't pay for it, but I'm the one who came up with the idea.
But he's taking care of somebody.
George was going to buy some cheap little bourbon, but I told him what a real Jewish man who drinks.
I took, he's taking care of somebody we know, and
Good.
he's doing a
Thank you,
great
Dr.
job.
Stein. You're a good man. Nicole.
And then my shout outs are, as usual, my one and only little girl, Sarah Rose.
I love that name, Sarah Rose.
And,
Very cool. Isn't
Sarah-
she on the phone?
She is.
Sarah!
Let her through.
Sarah, hello?
You're on with George, Nicole, your mom, Heshy, and
I don't hear Sarah. You hear Sarah?
I don't hear her.
Yes.
here you go.
there
There
she
she is.
Sarah, I saw her lighting Hanukkah candles tonight.
She did.
Wonderful. And, I said amen to you. Your mother forgot.
No, your mother
Yeah.
said, "Kola kavod," which is
No,
what I
it doesn't
usually
work
say.
the same way, baby. Stop it. Look how, everything I say
Come
is
on.
opposite with this girl.
Forget
Everything.
the time.
Anyways, you did a beautiful job, my darling. Welcome, and we love your mother. Am I allowed to say that?
Thank you.
Good. Oh, if she says I can say it, that's good. Anyways, we're going to start the show. I love you, Paul.
And Sarah, Sarah, I'm waiting for the day you take over Heshy's chair. I think you could get
That's
us more
right.
listeners, more fans.
Well,
and Mommy
she-
might like that.
I want to do
I
that.
think George
she
will like
wants to.
that.
She
Yeah, I'll
wants
show-
to do that.
When I'm about 14 or something.
That'll be her first job, she says.
Good girl. Good
Well,
girl.
Sarah, we want to wish you very much a happy Hanukkah. Have a good night, and I'm sure Mommy will definitely do a great job for us out here, and she'll see you soon. Okay?
And you'll be our special guest.
Happy
later this
Hanukkah.
month,
Happy
okay?
Hanukkah, sweetie. By the way, a guest told today I met an inspector.
Bye.
Love you.
Baby. Today I met an inspector and he says, "Hey, besides this, I know you run the radio show." I said, "I do more than the radio show, but actually an inspector listens to our show. So, Inspector, I love you, and I'm straight as an arrow, and we won't make fun of the Department of Buildings today,
And
which
also,
I really do."
while Sarah had called, I want to also say, if you do want to give us a call tonight, please call us at 646-974-1580. That's 646-974-1580. So
By the way, everybody, I never tell you, but you can always email justenoughheshy@gmail.com throughout the whole week. I'll answer your emails and call you back. Anyways, we're going to start the show, and I'm going to start you with a quote. My friend George over here, who screams at me, "Heshy, you got to be more statesman-like. You can't curse." Look, really, and last night, he put Heidi on the phone for a half an hour at midnight, not at 10 o'clock, arguing about how I have to talk, I can't say bad words,
We
statesman.
specifically spoke about one word. What's that word?
No, but it sounded...
But you called
keep
somebody
using-
you called somebody a whore.
Ina,
Oh, you're
Ina,
back at this? We're
I
back
hate
here?
Nicole, what do you think of this?
I hate her. She showed up at an event with President Trump.
In an
half
Israel
naked.
dress. Well, not half
you're supposed to
naked.
go in
It was
a
a
wait a
gown.
minute. When you come to a wedding, right, and you walk in there with shorts and a t-shirt and your belly button sticking out, is that normal?
That's not what she was
So
wearing.
yeah, you had a black tie event. She was supposed to go in a nice gown outfit.
But I wore
She
an
went to make
American
a
scarf,
statement.
so what's the
American
difference?
scarf is allowed, but you wore a beautiful black suit with a tie. Your wife was pretty dressed in a nice black. It's a black tie event. You don't have.
Heshy, we've
she
talked
looked-
about this. A
she
little
looked
refinement would
trampish.
go a long
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
We've talked
Well,
about this.
okay. You
Can
know what,
you
Ina?
focus on an
Thank you,
insult
Nicole.
that isn't
Thank you.
Okay,
gender-based?
okay, Ina, you look gorgeous. Bullshit. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm not allowed to say that word. Am I allowed to say that word?
No, not at
Okay,
all.
I'm sorry. I never curse, guys. Never. Anyways, I want to tell you my quote. And here's my quote. I'm not a politician. And a politician thinks of the next generation. A statesman. No, I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
You're not a statesman.
A politician thinks of the next election. A statesman of the next generation. So you know what, George? I will become a statesman.
Well, thank you. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
I
I'm
am.
glad.
I do, and I'm starting to bend a little bit to you. But whenever you go too much, I call up Tom, and he puts me back on track.
Tom, I love Tom. I know Tom for a while now, but Tom's an idealist, you know?
And he's
I don't
the
know
best.
about that. I would say
Please
you're
tell me you're
poli-
not in this camp of
I would
using
say
such language.
I wouldn't say
He's
on the
a
la-
Mikey.
I
Tell him
wouldn't
he's
say
a
on the
Mike corner.
language, but obviously if you want to talk about it, 646-974-15.
If Heshy takes over the America, Tom's going to be his
Not
propaganda
taking over
minister.
America. It's only city council. Democracy is the only system that
I would say I'll go with Heshy far more than most of the other people that are in
Good boy.
office. I'll
Good
say
boy.
that for
Good.
sure.
Good.
So
You see, Nicole, you're gonna get behind me one day. Democracy is the only system that persists in asking the powers that be whether they are the powers that ought to be. And you know what? Most of these people, if we had voted correctly, they wouldn't be in power. I want to tell you a funny joke. Can I tell you? It's an easy, funny joke. There's no way you guys can't laugh. Really. This is a true story. Okay? It was my kid's great aunt's birthday. And you know how the family chats are. Everybody wishes everybody happy birthdays today with WhatsApp. Everybody. So in our family, when somebody hits a birthday, whoever's the first one at 12:01, texting happy birthday. And usually I'm up in the middle of the night, so I'm usually the first one wishing happy birthday. So for the great aunt's birthday, everybody was at my house. We were doing something on Hanukkah, and I told everybody we got to call Aunt Bubba, whatever we call her, Bubba, whatever. So we said we're going to call Aunt Bubba, and we're going to call her and wish her happy birthday. So anyways, my kid Yaakov takes out his phone and dials her number. And right away, she picks up the phone, and we all start singing happy birthday to you. You know, we go through the whole thing. And all of a sudden, when we finish, the guy says, excuse me, wrong number. She called her up. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. He says, don't worry, you need a lot of practice.
So while we're here, can I just open the show with something I wanted to follow up from last week? We were ending our debate last week with you explaining how housewives should be, they should go for office and make absolutely no money because they're already housewives.
No,
What
you
do they need money for?
misinterpreted me.
That's fine. So that'll be a double
Housewives were an
misinterpretation.
example.
Right, it was an example.
I believe
but-
George should run for office
Sure.
and not get any pay for it
Sure.
either.
And I
Watch
got
watch
on your
Look
case
at-
about it.
Look how George is blinking.
So-
I think the middle finger went up. Did you see that? My fingers are out.
Anyway, I got on your case about that, and it seems like the listeners may have misinterpreted something I said, and it's important to me that I make myself clear to them. I actually did a TED Talk on this last year, and it was about the value of the work of a mother and how if we actually invested in working mothers, we would get a lot further in our GDP. So it's not that I think that housewives are unemployed or what have you. In fact, it's quite the opposite, is they are doing so much work already that is uncompensated, and that goes, as the term is, invisible work. That was brought up by a sociologist.
I love housewives
Why?
and mothers.
Right, but if they're already doing all of this uncompensated labor, I would think that if they even manage to find the time to run for office, which is by itself miraculous, they should be paid for that. If they're already not being
They
paid
should
for
be
what they do. They should be
compensated
paid
for their
that.
time in a sense of that means whatever they lay out, or they shouldn't lose any money. When I meant by housewives, it wasn't only housewives. It's a lot of people that are either retired or veterans or people that have more common sense. A housewife has to deal with day-to-day issues and has to improvise.
Right.
You know, my wife not only ran a family, but she was my partner and ran around to buildings. My mother was a single mother that took care of 3 little boys, plus a Down syndrome girl, plus we used to, well, she used to let me drive, you know what I mean? At 15 years old, we were driving her around because, you know, she didn't want us on the streets, but she used us well. But again, she worked it well and we were running around with her. So I know when you need to do something, and you need to get something done. And I know the most strongest people, especially a lot of those housewives at home, they're the smartest.
So why not compensate them for it?
Again, we're compensating men too. I believe that in government today, we are here, and you heard what I said, a statesman has to be worried about the next generation.
Correct.
You know, old men plant trees that the shade they'll never sit in. Why? Very simple.
Legacy.
Because we have to take care of the next generation. Yeah. You know, not stupid greenery, but whatever stupid stuff like, because I don't believe in the green and the thing going up. Anyways, by the way, and I don't want to brag, my friend here, George, got a press release out of all the stuff I did in Israel. I'm going to raise $500,000. We don't have the website yet up. I have the guys here from Israel ready. I want to start putting it together. I'm going to really raise that money. I'm going to maybe put together, because I thought they were more organized. I'm going to get the GoFundMe. I was talking to one of the soldiers, the commanders in Israel. He says they have a 501c, so I'm going to start posting it. And I want you, the audience, to really come through and help these soldiers. Even though everybody screams they should be fully armed, they're not. There's a lot of things going on there. You know, today I think 9 soldiers were ambushed and killed.
So about 10, I think, was what we spoke about.
9 or
earlier
10.
in the
I
show.
wasn't sure of the number.
And we had 97 as of this weekend,
Right.
so over
but
100 already
thousands
died.
of them are being killed. They're surrendering. And here's my problem, George and Nicole. A few of those thousands of members of the Hamas are surrendering. They're terrorists. They should be shot and killed and put into a basement. Instead, the Israelis, which are good people, and the United Nations is ruling against Israel that they have to cease fire. Screw them.
Did you hear about one of the UN workers had one of the hostages at their house
I didn't know that.
in Gaza? Yeah,
Is that illegal?
there should be an investigation. No,
Right.
Absolutely.
But they're now taking those prisoners and putting them in POW camps. The difference between a POW camp and a jail is a jail, they're criminals, and they can get treated as criminals, but in a good way. In a POW camp, there are rules that you have to treat them better than your own soldiers. And they will be released after the war sooner or later, when the war ends. These guys are terrorists. We can never let them go. And I heard now today they just killed a 24-year-old.
That was Saturday.
That
Yeah,
was-
20. He was been held for 2 months. As a
And
hostage.
you
They
want to do
killed another one
ceasefires?
today. There was
You want
another
to,
one today.
and I saw a video of the terrorists Hamas sitting on top of a UN supply truck,
And stealing the aid.
shooting their own people.
Well, how
Well,
about the fact that Hamas was hiding weapons and teddy bears? Anybody see
yeah,
that?
yeah, I
In a
saw
school?
that. I
Yep.
saw that. They showed
again,
that.
again, I feel bad for the people I feel bad for the Palestinians who are not involved with the war.
They're all involved. They can leave.
They're
They
not
can leave Gaza.
radicalized.
Gaza is like the old Bronx where gangsters are. Pick yourself up and go to the main
I
Palestinian
heard it's not as
Authority.
easy as you say.
It's connected. They're all connected. Just
Actually,
cross-
when you said
I'm not
that-
talking to Egypt and Jordan and other
when
countries.
when you
If
said
it-
that, I thought of Charles Bronson, Death Wish, the Bronx.
No,
remember?
It's not the death wish. Remember that story where L.A. was separated?
Oh,
from-
but the Kurt
Escape
Russell
from
movie?
L.A.
Yeah,
or
Escape from New York.
Escape from New York.
Realistically, it's not as easy as you say to move. Here's my issue, though. It's the issue with the cognitive dissonance that's being practiced in the Arab world. You cannot simultaneously have the whole world bleeding hearts for all the Gazans that are stuck in the middle of this war, and also have 4 Arab countries that border Israel that don't let fellow Arabs into their country for refuge.
Right.
You can't do both. It's going to have to be one or the other. I feel bad for them, too. Not bad enough to
Well,
stop for a ceasefire.
Qatar lets the Palestinians in.
Yeah, the
No,
top
real
leadership that are worth
Palestinians.
$5
and
billion
those,
apiece.
those 3 control $15 billion. If they just gave their money there, boom, you'd be able to fix up the whole Gaza.
And we have a
over there.
comment in the chat that basically says kind of what you said, Heshy, that the Palestinians voted for Hamas.
Right.
They did.
Only in
2007.
Gaza,
They
and
did.
that's the problem. Those are stupid gang members.
I don't
and they wanna be
disagree
killed.
there. I mean, there's a generation there or two that's been super radicalized, and they're
I would be very curious to see if they ever got a chance for another election. Because let's remember, they had one in 2007.
No,
they
there's
voted
no
for Hamas
more.
and never did it again. if they ever had another election, I do wonder if the citizens of Gaza would vote the same way.
Well, America is now talking to the Palestinian Authority and the Israeli government that they should take over Gaza again. So somehow they want to be part of the Palestinian. I don't know what that whole
that's
place is
what's
destructive.
funny about it. Israel
There's no
doesn't
reason
want
to
it.
go there. I know that. Israel did want it when it was built up nicely. We gave it back. Now
gave
it's
it
just
back.
one. Who wants to live in rubble? There's no reason for anybody to go there. Anyways, we're going to go to a different subject, and I want to tell you about your migrants, our migrants.
Your migrants.
You know,
get a little-
They're not my migrants or Nicole's.
They're mine. They're mine because Mr. Mayor, okay, a good man, got on a plane for the 10th time, went to Washington to raise money. Now, he's already raised $20 billion for the migrants. He's going back there to ask for more. For the 150,000 now, we're up to 150,000 and 12,000 across the border every day. It used to be 1,000 or 2,000. 12,000 a day across
By the way,
the
I'm
border.
sure you're seeing what I'm seeing, and Nicole's seeing it, and Tom. You're seeing these migrants on every corner,
Yep.
on highways, even selling mangoes and selling
Forget
candy.
mangoes, collecting,
Cans,
right?
bottles.
Cans going into
They're
buildings.
trying, yeah.
It's not even trying. But again, we are spending. There's a company called what's the name of the company?
Dago.
Dago. They got a $490 million no bid contract for food. $490 million, George. I could use the money, man.
I know. Well, let's start a nonprofit. What are we doing?
Right, and now listen to this. They are supposed to feed the migrants. Here's what the migrants are saying. Half the food is being thrown away. The food is spoiled, smells bad, and one guy said, I would rather not eat for 2 days before I take their food.
I'm telling you, we can start that nonprofit and start feeding some
Now
migrants.
we're looking into it. But I understand, why isn't quality control being from day one? Whatever.
You think New York is the only place with that problem?
No, but
Have you
it's
seen
not
our
New
military
York.
contracts
It's-
lately?
Okay, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying,
New York, it's egregious.
well, we
You're
gave
talking almost half a billion.
$490 million to you
You're talking almost $500 million. I mean,
Right.
where else can?
this year.
DC, that's where.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to have a new guy running for president. So maybe, according to Tom, and we want to ask you that, Tom said to ask you, a guy by the name of Cornel West. You heard about him?
Yes,
Oh,
I
who
know
that is.
Cornell.
I know
So
who that
he's going to, how is he getting on 50 ballots at
Well,
this late
apparently,
date?
Heshy, you know somebody that's actually going to help him apparently get on that ballot.
Is that
apparently.
possible? You can't even get, what's his name again? Robert Kennedy on there.
Well, Cornell West is far left. I mean, Nicole
Yeah,
might
he's-
like him.
he's-
So
I
how
don't
does
know
he get
about
on the
that.
ballot for 50 states at this late date?
Well, apparently, an attorney you may actually know with two initials.
Without
that-
signatures,
me.
without
Not
anything?
No,
me,
not,
not
definitely
this
not you
attorney.
on this one.
Not
Definitely
this
not
Without
you on this one.
signatures in each state and so on?
They're going to try. I mean, listen, there's far left people in every state, and they're
And
going
he
to
has that
mobilize.
kind of money? This Cornel West?
He can raise it.
Well, he
Well,
didn't make.
the person that's working for him doesn't work for free.
No, that we know.
we
That
definitely know that.
That we
And,
know.
and I'm sure that other person you employed, I'm sure, will also be a part of that. I'm sure. the other
Well,
person.
you're,
But
that
there's a
mutual
system. If it's so hard in New York City to go across 50 states at the last minute when the Iowa caucus is what, in 2 months?
Yeah, but
Well,
not
what
every-
they're
not-
doing, yeah.
Not every state is that. I have a friend who ran in Arizona for Congress, and I said, "What do you have to do?" She said, "Oh, I just went to the county office."
You pay a fee.
Pay a
Pay a
fee.
fee, and she was on there.
That's what it should be in New York as well. That's it.
And-
And if you can't raise the money, you don't get matching funds,
Yeah,
but you
every
should be
state-
allowed on the ballot.
Every state
So
is
it's
different, and
simple.
every state has different
Right.
deadlines, nor do you have to be on every state in order to run.
And I think if you're running as a third party candidate, it's different than running as a Democrat or Republican. There's different, standards there. It's a different time period. It's a different amount of signatures you need to collect. So
And what are you panicking about? When's the last time a third party candidate
I,
won?
s- I
Ross
support.
Perot, you don't remember him because you're a little girl. but
Little girl.
I
Wow.
was so, when Ross Perot ran for president, first I think he got 16 or 19% of the
18.
vote.
18.
Okay, but do you know why he lost? He could have won.
It's actually the first campaign I got involved in.
Right.
I
So I
volunteered.
liked Ross Perot. I was excited because Ross Perot, if he would have enough votes, the law is if a president doesn't get 50%, automatically there's no more election, there's no runoff. Congress gets to pick either one of the candidates or just out of the blue they could draft a candidate. That is the law. They could just pick anybody they want if there's no 50% winning ballot.
Well, you mean the electors?
The
You have to
electorate,
get the
right, whatever,
50%.
however, I think it's Congress.
So no, I
no,
do
you
have
have
a
to
I
get-
was saying Congress never.
You have to get a majority of the electors.
No, you have to get, if you don't get a majority of the electors, okay, they're electing the,
Those representatives
Electoral
from each
college.
state.
right,
Yeah.
they're like, right, so then there's no winner. They can't choose. Then Congress, I think, chooses.
Well, I have a bunch of comments on this. I like to read people's off.
But I want to finish it up.
Okay, no
Ross Perot, he was in the election. He was really hot. Then he backed out of the election. He chickened out for some reason. That's when he lost support. When he came back in, he then joined back in. That's why people didn't think he was serious. But if he would have stayed in from minute one,
If he stayed in, he would have won.
he would have won. That's my point.
And he
He
would
would
have
have had the
changed-
first independent president ever.
And he would have changed
No,
the
that I
country for the
agree
better.
with you on.
You know who
Heshy.
Bruce
That I
Flores?
agree with you
He
on.
started Blue Cross Blue Shield and made it go nationwide. That's why he became a billionaire. Genius. The man was actually, and not only a genius, a good man who didn't cheat on his wife.
Wow, there's
I'm
a
joking.
miracle.
I'm joking.
So who do you got on comments?
States, I'm allowed to make comments. You got a lot
I
of
actually
comments.
have a bunch. I like to read them off. Thank you for that. And also, I want to plug your law firm right after that.
In a minute.
Cornell West is insane. From Natasha Devine. Natasha Devine wants to say RFK Jr. all the way. Also, I have here that now he's running as a People's Party candidate. Originally as a Green Party candidate was Cornel West. And also, Superfly wants to say that my neighbor ran as an independent, but his name was never on the ballot. And Natasha also wants to state Perot was the Reform Party candidate.
Reform
when he
Party,
ran.
but Reform became but Reform was a real cat. Jesse, your wrestler boy, what
Jesse
was
the
it?
Body Ventura.
Jesse the Body Ventura became
Yeah.
governor
1998
when he won the
Minnesota.
vote, and we ran
He won in
the
a three-way
Reform Party.
race, yeah.
He won in a three-way race, and he was governor twice. No,
No, once. He did not run for re-election
You
in
know,
2002.
but
yeah.
he was actually a pretty good governor. This wrestler, he made some good changes.
Well, he was an independent. Because
Well,
that's, you know,
I'm support Cornel West. He needs to get on 50 ballots. It's important for our democracy that it gets on every ballot.
The fact that you can't say that with a straight
But
face is what's getting me.
between him and RFK, automatically Biden, we have a chance of beating Biden. They're saying that.
Perfect. I
Yeah,
love it. I
love
mean, it's important to preserve our democracy.
But and I want to tell you something. If you would have watched my introduction video to the show, there was a young girl from George's alma mater school, NYU.
Oh.
I'm embarrassed.
A
about
young
it.
lady, a
Bring it here.
vicious woman who admitted, I couldn't even understand it.
She was on video.
On video.
Right.
But she went on video, and I posted it, and questions asking her, not me, but somebody else, but I cut myself in asking her questions.
What's the woman's name?
Who cares? Haziga,
Really?
some retard. Sorry, I didn't say the word. Didn't say. But she's bad. She actually admitted to ripping down the signs. Then she starts crying. Oh my God! They suspended me and
So-
took away my housing, and people, and I could be deported. So she's not
Two
even an
things.
American.
I know.
She's not even an American. She ripped down signs, and
Well, she
she's,
violated the NYU
violated
Code of
conduct.
Conduct.
Exactly.
but
Straight
she's
up.
upset that they threw her out.
Magiela. That's what you're saying, Magiela. She deserves it.
And she deserves it 100%. But everybody's saying, "Oh no, she doesn't deserve it. She made a mistake. She didn't make a mistake."
Well, I have a
I
follow-up
said,
question.
listen,
And
Nicole,
you
I
should have
said,
seen she was holding like this. The posters. Like
hold on,
a whole
Nicole. I
hand.
said you the Code of
You
Conduct.
did, and I read it through and through.
And is
Thank
it
you very
clear
much.
that she violated?
It's absolutely clear that she violated. I read it through and through, and clearly they revised it because they've included things about anti-Arab and anti-Semitism, and they revised their code of conduct probably after the UPenn scandal.
And it's also
But,
off campus, too,
it's-
how you behave.
I have
Right.
a question.
It
Oh, good.
includes
Very good.
on-campus, off-campus, any residential housing, any conduct that indicates harassment or that would make someone else of a certain demographic feel unsafe on campus. Their code of conduct is
good.
as comprehensive as it could possibly be. And then I read what the process was if you're charged with a violation of the code of conduct. By the way, their process is bogus. But either way, she got charged with this process. She has the right to an appeal because she was suspended. So this girl, rightfully so, was suspended, was then removed from on-campus housing because of her
She
suspension.
can't get campus
She
housing
can't
yet.
get it because
But
part of the reason
she's still there till
No,
they
I
co-
listened.
oh,
I
yeah?
listened.
Yeah.
And she's probably still there because she's going through an
And they
appeal.
took away,
They took away her scholarship.
it's
Thank
not
God.
her scholarship,
She's-
it's NYU scholarship.
Well, right, but she was on scholarship. They revoked it.
They took away her housing
They
money
took away her
thing.
housing
Oh.
because of the scholarship.
Oh, great. Let's
Then
sleep on
she
the
got
street.
suspended. She's not eligible to come back as a full-time
But she
student
should be
until
deported now
2025.
that she. No, but why isn't she being deported now that she doesn't have any
I don't-
classes?
What depends on, I don't know if
I
she's
had
on
a
visa
question
or
for you,
what.
Judge. You went to NYU. Was NYU always kind of like this crazy?
Listen, when I went to
presidential-
NYU, there was always, a healthy leftism. You know, I would even hear some of these people speak, some of the professors. But the adage in NYU was, if you're a lefty or left-leaning, you become a political science major. If you're right-leaning, you become a history major.
I like political science.
I do, but and that's what I took, but I never finished
Right.
it.
And the other thing I want to highlight, just for the sake of discourse, because there's going to be people that disagree with our viewpoint here, okay? The person that was interviewing her said, wow, you got all those issues for ripping a poster,
Right.
you know, and
But
as
if you would
if
have
as
seen
if
mine,
to make it.
if you would have seen me, I just called her name.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. As if, you know, as if to compare it to, like, do you remember that American that was in North Korea and
Yeah,
ripped the poster
yeah,
up, and he
yep.
ended up, right, he died, he
Yep.
was in prison for 5 years.
Yep.
The way that she made it sound as though the consequences were unbefitting of what she did, right? My whole
Not
thing was,
proportionally like
right,
yeah.
correct. And so my whole thing is, look, you seemed real freaking proud of yourself when you were ripping posters off
I would
of
say
kidnapped
arrogant.
Israelis. Right. You're real proud of it, ripping off the posters of kidnapped Israelis because you were so, you know, into your convictions and defacing school property that someone had put up there. Then you should be just as proud to accept the
She
consequences.
had no conviction. She had hate. Hate. That
Hate
was
is a
it.
conviction.
Okay, well, I don't believe a conviction.
It's
is
not a good
something-
one, but it's a
not
conviction.
It's a very bad one. All I can tell you is hate crimes, New York City, ladies and gentlemen, up 312%. My God.
What are these hate crimes directed at? Mostly anti-Semitism?
It's anti-Semitism. Stealing, you know, they're stealing Jewish people's strommels. They're hitting them on the street. Yes, they're still hitting the Asians. I don't understand that. And you know what bothers me? A lot of the crime is also committed by young black men. Why? Why are they doing that? If anything, they should be scared or upset of hate.
And you've done a
Because-
lot with them too, Heshy. You
Yeah.
know that firsthand from some of the work you've done with Pastor McCall.
Yeah,
So you've kind of
yeah.
seen it. So, I mean, why do you think that is?
The only thing I can think is that they think that the way they're acting might bring them more notoriety, might bring them money,
don't think that's
might
it at
bring
all.
them, might get them.
So what do you
because
think,
when
then?
you're not looking, you're not looking at your stores and things are happening, and they can.
Yeah, what do you think, Nicole? Let's
Yeah.
hear what you...
I think
What's the
they're-
liberal thing?
the liberal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
I
Thank you.
think they're drawing just unfitting parallels between the strife of the black people and the strife of the Palestinian people. That's a big one. The other thing is they seem to believe that Jewish people are white. And so this whole us versus them thing is still very much
Either way, so
front
you're
and
white.
mind.
So you're white.
We're not, though. Like,
But it
we're
makes
not.
no difference if you
Right?
are or not.
Either-
There
yeah,
should
but
be no hate crime against
You're
white
right about
or
that.
black.
There should be no hate. There should be no white or black.
No,
But
no,
what's
there's
even
hate
more
is allowed.
infuriating is
Hate
to
is
be
allowed, but not to take it out on another.
Well, they
person.
also think that, black people, average black person thinks every Jewish guy is rich.
that's true.
I mean, come on, be
yeah,
honest.
That's true.
No. You only have those idiots.
You're still playing the lotto, Heshy. You're okay.
It's
Don't
more.
worry
It's
about
more
it.
of just. It's the
Happens
only
to
thing
be,
that
I
I
went to buy $5 lotto tickets for Linda this week.
Well, there's a good lotto story I want to share in a little while.
Yeah,
Funny
I
one.
think what's worse than ignorance is willful ignorance. And that's where I start to get really just out of my seat, edgy, infuriated, is they're not really willing to look into the origins of Jewish people. And the origins of Jewish people are not European origins.
Hanukkah, just look at Hanukkah. Hanukkah alone. That's one of our origins, even though it happened 1,000 years in. But look at the Jewish people. We went and we fought the Philistines or the Greeks. We fought with
The
no army.
Ottomans, the
Right? And we
Persians.
fought and we did it for our people. We did it to take care of our brothers because a lot of the Jewish people, there was what I understood, you're going to like this one. You know, the Romans, they had these, what was the games called again?
At the Coliseum.
At the Coliseum, but not with the gladiators. They had
Chariot?
like
Chariot
Olympics.
game?
No, they had like an Olympics where they were running and jumping and stuff. They were called the games. Those games had to be done naked,
Oh, yeah.
completely naked. Now, if you were circumcised,
That
if you were, no, but if you were circumcised, you weren't allowed to play because you were Jewish. And a lot of Jewish boys wouldn't circumcise themselves so they can play in the games, or they uncircumcised. How do you uncircumcise?
How do you
I don't know.
uncircumcise?
I heard, that's what I was reading.
Give us a call and maybe tell us 646-974-1580.
You get extra
way,
points
what-
for
what
figuring
day-
it
I'm
out.
the only woman here. I have no idea how that
Miss
works.
Woman, what day of Hanukkah is it? Because these two non-Jews don't. 7.
Well,
Today,
actually-
7, right? Tomorrow's the last night.
And while we'll do that, think about that, move on. Actually, I want to plug Nicole with the Weitengruber law
What
firm.
about crossword?
We're gonna do that this.
We're gonna do that right after the circumcision talk?
Well, I figured we have to move away from this. I figured because the listeners here might want to. It's 732.
By the way, when Avram has another baby, we're gonna have a circumcision too.
Well, I'll let Avraham answer that question. But in the meantime, we're at 732-695-3303, 1720 Highway 34, Suite 10 in Wall Township, New Jersey. Weitengruber Law Firm is handling bankruptcy, foreclosures, trust, wills, and they do it with compassion and care. So make sure you can go out there, and if any questions, definitely give them a call. And Nicole does a great job there, along with George Weitengruber. Also want to plug our friends over at Crossroads of Toms River. They're at 751 Route 37 West in South Toms River, New Jersey, and they're at 800-805-6989. You can give them a call anytime from Monday to Saturday. They do a great job serving the community. So
we're going to start putting it on posting. We're going to have to bring up their logo and.
Yep.
Right, so please
and
get me
anybody
that.
right now, I know that it's tough out there with the end of the year and mental health, and anybody that's feeling depressed or anything like that, give them a call. They're there anytime. They won't judge you. So please go out there and make sure they support. Support.
Don't be ashamed to get the help you need.
See, but George, that's the problem. You have 150,000 migrants, and you're able to go raise $20 billion. If you would have raised that $20 billion over the last 4 years, just for the 80,000 homeless people, you know how many people we could have saved? How many mental health people we could have taken off the streets?
Listen, how much?
City council.
The homeless problem was up to 80,000 before the migrants.
Right, but now the homeless is just people have ignored it completely. You should see the people in the streets. I see them on Fridays. Me and Linda give $5 a coat. We don't have much, but it's so bad that they're living. And when we go walk to Avon, they live in a blue top. There's no way those guys could be warm. And I see them.
Freezing.
They're frozen. Even they're so happy that you bring them a hamburger.
I've spent some time a little bit in South America. We're this close to favelas, and like they have in Brazil and other countries.
Can I tell you a funny thing that that somebody did? I know you're not going to like this,
Go on.
but there's a guy, a Turkish parliament guy. He gets up in his the Turkey is just going after Israel for no reason. He gets up in parliament and he starts cursing out Israel. He walks off the stage and has an immediate heart attack.
That was such
you know
a
how
Heshy story.
you know how they say
Instant
God
karma.
don't strike me with your lightning. God struck him, and when he fell
wouldn't
down,
I like that?
I was
I loved
laughing.
it.
I was just laughing, and Linda says, "You're laughing. A guy has a heart attack."
Yes.
This guy, I didn't want just a heart attack. I wanted a heart attack and a stroke. I wanted stuff to come out of his mouth.
Greeks don't really like turkey.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's your number one enemy. Yeah, no, that was awesome.
I have a number of comments here. So also here, remember when Palestinians were slaves, from Natasha Devine, and she kind of gives a joke about that. Illegals are taken care of a lot better than our homeless. It's a disgrace, from KLLL. Also, Natasha wants to say the first university in Alexandria was a pagan shrine. The next called itself the Nourishing Mother Alma Mater. And also, I have here from Superfly that our college kids are very arrogant. And yes, Heshy, why the hell do we need more illegals here?
Yeah,
that's what she says.
I want to ask you a question. Tom doesn't drive, but I want to ask you too. They now are coming up with a law. It's going to be a law. It's soon going to actually be a law, just like congestion. When I go to work now, it's going to cost me $30 just to wake up. You, Nicole, it's going to cost $60.
Not if I take Amtrak.
Okay, but again, how much is Amtrak?
New Jersey Transit.
But how much is that costing? It's another $10,
New Jersey
$12
Transit,
anyways.
okay.
And you're not going to have the convenience of a car or taking your daughter when your daughter has to go to the doctor. So you're going to drop off. You're going to be stuck with her. No matter what, sooner or later, you're going to pay us something. We're going to suck you dry.
We're going to get you, Nicole.
We're going to get you one way. And George is dead because he just goes and goes. He doesn't care.
I don't
He goes
care.
out to dinner. Okay, so he's going to pay before you even go to dinner. Don't even tip
It's a
anymore.
necessary luxury. Yeah.
Okay, it's not the point. It's not an extra. I paid $100 for my Broadway ticket. Now I got to pay
No,
another $30.
hold on a second. I don't believe a car is a luxury.
Right.
I believe a car represents in America freedom, the ability to get in a car
Right.
and go somewhere to eat, to move,
The way
to
that
change
I grew
your
up,
life.
a car was a privilege.
Okay.
I'm kind of with you on that. We didn't have a car growing up.
Listen, I'm fortunate. It's a privilege I can afford, but it's a privilege for some.
You're talking that when me and my brothers used to drive the car, we used to put together our quarters, and we were only able to go to the gas station with $2, and we used to pay the guy in quarters to fill up the tank, and we were so nervous because in the 70s they were stealing gas, so we bought this cover with a key. And one day my stupid brother lost the key. And we got stuck. We had to push the car home.
You couldn't get into your own gas tank.
I got to bring up a special comment here. It's from Johnny C, the pizza guy.
My man.
And this is for you, Heshy. Actually, Nicole said I can bring pizza next Wednesday. I know 2 great kosher pizzerias in Brooklyn. We can find out which pizza we like best. My palate is generally inclined from Sicily. So what do you say?
I have no problem. I love pizza, but you know what? Nicole last week bought some leftover, old, moldy.
wasn't moldy. Just
I saw
bought
the
it from the
black
store
on the
next door.
I don't think it's
edges,
fair for the
and she
listeners
was
to know that.
swallowing it down. This girl can
I
eat
was-
anything. Okay, when you're 30 years old, who cares? Your stomach is, and like Tom, he eats from Wendy's every night. I love you. So tonight, I made sure to get both of them corned beef and pastrami sandwiches.
And they were amazing.
Delicious,
Delicious.
nice and hot. He doesn't know about it yet.
So good.
That was very good. So I want to make sure they eat a normal meal if they come to my house.
And also, I
But
also
here's
wanna-
the thing about the car. They are now going to put in a device that you can't start the car without blowing into it. That means if you're drunk, you can't start the
That's
car.
already
That's-
done.
wait,
That's
that's
already.
already
That's
done. Is
already
that for
done.
everybody?
It exists if you are prosecuted and found guilty of
Correct.
drunk driving once or twice.
Yes.
Now everybody cannot start the car without blowing into this device, and that's a problem because if it malfunctions, you're not going to be able to start your car on a bad day or a cold day. Just doesn't matter.
How are they
Today,
implementing this?
it's a new law that's coming out, New York City, and all cars will have to have that device.
Who's paying for it?
You're going to pay for it. It's going to be.
Like
It's
she's
going
the
to
first
be
person to
like.
pay for it.
Remember when we used to only have AM and then FM came
Who's on that bill?
I don't know.
What
I just
nutcase
read
is on
about
that
it.
bill?
I don't know, but you have a lot of.
Also, I have
nutcases
somebody
in
that
there.
agrees with you, by the way. My friend Zena says that she completely agrees with you about Jewish people not being white, basically.
They're
She
not-
agrees with that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So are
They're
you
not.
telling me that Jewish people have soul music? They listen to soul music.
Yes, we do, and we have rap too. We have
We do
Jewish
have
rap
rap,
music.
and it's
We have
very
rap. It's very good. Our rap music has no
You-
effing. And
Well,
budding.
actually, I have a follow-up on that. There was a famous rap group called Third Base, and the lead was Search, MC Search, is actually Jewish. He's from
Weren't
Far
the
Rockaway,
Beastie
Queens.
Boys Jewish?
Yeah, also them too.
Guys, you know that under the Biden administration, look at, I love.
I
when
like
she
how every
flips-
time you say it, the
because your
shift
eyes
right
start
over here,
flipping.
right over here.
Because we are three Trump men and you are a Biden.
You're
I
a
don't know
Trump
why. Yeah. Oh, look how she's looking at. Look how she's looking at.
Fellow
Tom.
millennial,
Look,
I
she's
feel
trying to
betrayed.
scare.
Betrayal.
He's one of mine. His soul is
Betrayal.
real. Anyways,
That's why he's hiding his face with that
when,
beard.
when Biden took over the government, gas prices went up. I want you to deny that. The market crashed. I lost lots of money. Me and Tom, forget about me. Tom lost lots of money.
Well, my lovely friend Zena knows that because I was
And
telling her how much money
poor
I lost.
Tom, he was eating some decent meals at McDonald's. Now he had to go to Wendy's.
I thought Rouge Reserve cut like we went to in
Okay,
the past.
oh,
that,
God.
that was the lawyer with the
The
two
lawyers.
initials. Yeah, who bagged the food, right?
Yeah.
He made sure to take
They
the food
took
away
me
with
to
him
a
in bag.
restaurant
Yeah, that
where
guy.
I witnessed them throwing the steaks on the floor for taste
Come
and
on.
charging me $700. Oh God, you should see the steak. I couldn't even chew it. It was disgusting. But when you pay $700 for a steak, Mr. George, it's delicious.
No.
Come on, you went to Circus. What's that restaurant? Circus, where the party was.
Oh,
La Sur.
Cipriani's.
Cipriani.
Oh, on Wall
I
Street.
promise you, I sat in Cipriani once. The guy bought a piece of small chicken, and cooked ugly, worse than that I did. $700.
But you're not going to Cipriani's for the food. You're going for an event. You know, I would if I'm
No,
going out.
I go middle of the week. It's packed house.
But
for
if I'm
lunch.
going out in New York, I'm going to go to either Carbone or Babo.
Carbone, I don't know the names, but how much are the meals?
They're depends how much wine you order.
Is Peter Luger's out of style or what?
I think I'm sticking with Wendy's. I think
But
I'm
here's
sticking
my
with
problem: if
Wendy's.
you spend all this money, now you have to tip 20% of that.
Yeah.
No, I give Trey out $20. That's more than enough.
$20? No matter how much the bill is?
No, I do give a little bit more, but 20. I mean, I try not to have more than a $200 meal.
Good point. I agree
You
with you
know,
on
with
that.
5 people.
But then you're tipping $20 on a $200 meal?
I'll give a $30 tip.
Okay.
The man is sitting there serving me for 11 minutes. 11 minutes. So let's calculate
You
that.
ate a whole dinner in
Times that
11
by
minutes?
6. That means that guy's making $150 an hour. I mean,
Yeah, but I used to be in the restaurant business. Tips are how these people make
no,
money.
how
no,
they
no,
live.
no. They get salaries.
No, they don't
No, they
get.
don't.
No, waiters do not get salary.
$30. Listen to me.
They do not get paid the minimum wage. I'm
No.
You know
telling
what?
you
Not
that.
even.
From now on, when you guys come over to my house to eat, the end of the meal, I want a tip. I'm going to tell everybody, oh, you're my guest. Tip.
Is there going to be good service?
I was gonna
Great
say, there
service.
better
I
be.
am the best. Ask
Actually,
of
it
them.
takes me a lot more than 11 minutes to eat a meal, actually.
No. They only serve me for 11 minutes. Then they ignore you the rest of the time. You have to wave your hand, shake like this like an idiot. Till finally I get up. Hey, idiot, come over here. I'm giving you $30.
You know, in France, that's how they normally do it.
So in Greece, you snap your fingers. You know?
Oh, no. Seriously?
Yeah.
Further comments here. Natasha Devine also she supports RFK Jr. Also, I have here from Zena. Also, Drake is half Jewish. Jewish. I forgot about that one.
Hey.
Definitely know that. Also, we'll get to the call in a second. Cipriani is from Chicago originally. Also, Wu-Tang has an affiliated rapper who is also Jewish. And also, Superfly wants to say we had one car for the family, not for one each family member. And Natasha also wants to say maybe if you didn't have to have a current license and emissions test, then the cars would mean freedom. And Johnny C wants to say in Canada, tips are a part of the bill.
Oh,
Right,
smart.
and here too, I believe that they automatically add in the 15 and 20%, and it shouldn't be that we should even decide it. Put it in, and I'm done.
I don't agree
And
with
if
that.
we have a
because-
caller on the line, you want to call in, give us a call
okay,
now.
I want
on.
to ask you a question, guys, and because we're running a little late.
Yes.
Trump, a federal court today granted special counsel, idiot Jack Smith. Can I call him a whore?
No,
But he's not a lady.
the word whore is never appropriate.
Okay.
Just delete it from your lexicon, okay?
Let me cut it
Nicole,
out.
we need to make a list of words that
really-
Heshy should not.
Okay,
use.
listen, Heshy, I
Right,
got that.
But
The
he
caller wants to call
requested
on the
to
line.
expedite the appeal in the election, which means that if Trump wins this appeal, he automatically gets dismissed on all the court cases, and he automatically gets immunity. Is that correct?
I don't think he gets immunity.
That's
but
what
you
the
make
case
it,
is
unless
about.
It's a dismissal with
If
prejudice.
Judge pauses Trump election case amid appeal of immunity issue.
Well, what is he claiming? Executive
Right.
privilege of
Right.
some sort?
But this is a serious case. If the
Caller,
if
you're
the-
on the air here with George, Nicole, Heshy, and Tom, and tell us who you are. Is this
Hi.
James here? James?
I have a little comment about Nicole's idea of people being willfully ignorant. Just a little
ahead, James.
thought that I had.
Tell me.
I think in this world today, the only kind of intelligence that I see happening is where, in the week or so ahead of the October 7th attack, you had people making millions of dollars on Wall Street, apparently with foreknowledge of sorts, and Israel basically knew, the intelligence service knew that the Hamas was doing their training and stuff in preparation for what they were going to do. There were all sorts of forewarnings. I mean, what's up with that? It's like there's something. I mean, so we're all sort of like ignorant. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, James, go ahead. Thank you, James.
James, thank you for the call. Also,
And James
till
makes a
next week.
good point, because according to a new poll of Palestinians, support for Hamas, the Palestinian people has tripled in the West Bank. That means not in Gaza. The
Oh, the West Bank.
They are
Okay.
supporting Hamas by triple, so much so that 88% of the people want Abbas to resign. And the poll also shows that 50% of the respondents in Gaza and 82% of the West Bank support Hamas's October 7th massacre. So you people want some leniency for those people in Palestine or West Bank. You're supporting the October 7th massacre. No proportionate.
But it's what's the number that supports Hamas and the
52 in Gaza.
57% of respondents in Gaza, because they were half of them are suffering, so the other half hate. 82% in the West Bank, which there's no
where
war,
Hamas is not,
support
right.
Hamas's October 7th killing of the Jews.
Wow, that's a depressing number.
That's a horrible number. And I just want to get back
Yeah,
to
it's not
James's
for me.
point, because
Sure.
according to James, there's some. He's trying to say that Israel knew about it, or Israel knows that Hamas is training. The truth is, Hamas is training every day that they're alive, right? And so for Israel to constantly do what they're doing now, you see all of the resistance the Israeli army is getting now for defending itself. Could you imagine if they had to do this every day just to eradicate Hamas day by day? So I don't know that it's a
But that's
fair
what we used to
assertion.
do. That's what we
it's
used
not
to
though.
do in
We've always
67.
been reactive. Israel's always been
No,
reactive.
in the
Never
60s,
proactive, unfortunately.
Before the 67 war, they were always
But
skirmishes.
what happened in the 67 war? They
used
got
to-
hit, they hit back.
No,
They get hit, they hit back.
You make a mistake. We used to drive from Jerusalem to Tiberias and Tzfat. And when you had to drive on a road that went up a hill that was on the border back then. Now it's
Okay.
not on the border.
Okay.
People knew.
Now it's a
Everybody
checkpoint.
knew. And there was thousands of people going to this holy site up there that you were going to get shot. They were sitting there, and the Israeli soldiers were on one side. The snipers of the Arabs were on the other side. And we used to, as cars passed by, there was always shooting going on. And it was stupid. That's what I was told. In 67, finally the Israelis got pissed. And they're the ones that attacked. With 8 countries on their border ready to come attack and kill Israel, Israel said, screw it, we see them coming. So they attacked first. And what I heard from live people, that the Israeli tanks went straight up mountains like a hill. Impossible, the stuff they did. It was like miracles that people saw happening in 67. And that's why they were able to win the war in 6 days. God intervened.
You know, Heshy, I know we've been talking a lot, and I know the tenseness each week with Nicole and yourself. I wanted to talk about a story that I thought was kind of lighthearted. You know, Heshy, I know you're a lotto player, and there was a story that came out earlier on Sunday that the same guy won the same $10 million lotto ticket at the same store twice. Yep.
Yeah.
Wayne Murray, in Flatbush. He actually won a $10 million ticket, and he hasn't gone to the store and almost kind of, I guess he's really afraid to give a tip because the guy that sold the ticket apparently wants a tip because of the New York State, I guess, lotto rule, the type of ticket
they get a, if somebody wins.
Yes, but because of the game he played, on this one, he technically doesn't get a tip, so he was hoping the guy would come in, and apparently this guy, even though he won the first time a few months ago, he won the same $10 million ticket, he was still playing the lotto. And they asked the guy, which is good for you, Heshy, because obviously you're a big lotto player, he said, well, he just likes to play because he just finds the lotto playing fun. So I thought, you know, with all this stuff going on between you and Nicole, I thought maybe a lighthearted story for the people out there.
Maybe we should
play the lotto.
By the way, not a lighthearted story. In my video,
I was trying to stay on the lighthearted.
No, but in the end of my
fine.
video,
Yes.
because we say there's no hate in New York City, a Palestinian went up to a menorah and started climbing up. And Tom, you made a little report on that.
Yeah.
And they put the Palestinian flag, and he disgraded. Wait a minute. And then in a place called Lake Merritt, Oakland, they took the menorah, and besides graffiti, they also, I think, threw it into the water or something like that. It's just.
And then the Polish lawmaker who extinguished a menorah with a literal fire extinguisher.
Is that normal?
No, that's ridiculous. The thing about the Connecticut menorah, though, that struck me the most, if you watch the video, there's that one idiot that climbs the menorah and puts the Palestinian flag on it, and his friends are telling him, no, take it down. This doesn't look good for us. That doesn't look good for us. What kills me about that, while I'm happy his friends, had more sense than him, is they didn't tell their friend, take it down because it's wrong. What you're doing, you're desecrating menorah. This is clearly a religious persecution on your part. It's wrong. They said this doesn't look good for us, which means they completely understand how they manipulate media and how they manipulate images and how they manipulate the narrative that they want to show. Brilliant. This doesn't take it down, not because it's wrong, take it down because this makes me look bad, right? That was the part that annoyed the hell out of me.
Well, to be fair, though, doesn't Israel, play the media too a little bit? Come on.
If we played the media, wouldn't we be in better straits?
No, listen, I mean, listen,
Right.
countries at war play the media.
No, we have spokesmen. We're getting to the end, so I want to ask you this. Today, I became a little happy, me and Tom, and you're going to be happy too. Was it Congress today? They agreed on a resolution to impeach your president, not mine. I mean, he's my president
he's not your
too.
president?
He is my president.
Where do you live?
He's the president of the United States.
He's president of the United States. He's president of the country.
Statesman is the word of the day.
I like you, Mr. Biden. Oh, please, let me cut me. Can you give me a knife, please? Anyways.
We're live, Heshy,
But finally, all the Republicans stuck together and voted to impeach Biden. Now, we know that it's a waste. Didn't you learn from Trump it's just a way to never...
They don't have the votes.
Right, so why are we doing it?
To waste everybody's time. That's what they're good at.
But why
Republicans
they
are great at it.
but
They
they
do it
do-
all the time.
Well, hold on. Pelosi and her friends did it
Twice to Trump. And what was it? And they spent over $40 million doing it, which is a waste of time as well. They
that was
spent my
merited.
money.
I don't see any indictments for Biden.
I want to give a quick shout out because Superfly asked me to. I want to say hello to Sophia. Sophia is one of our big listeners out there, and she wanted a shout out, and I wanted to make sure
Sophia.
we did that as well. So I wanted to make sure we do that before.
And still on a political note,
Yep.
there's a place called Media Matters for America.
Yes.
Now,
That's
this
John
is-
Podorowitz's group, if I'm
Right.
not mistaken.
And
Yeah.
now this organization, which goes out to in politics, that is supposed to report everything, actually has a 501c3. How is that legal? How do you have a media company becoming a 501, collecting money so they can go after other
Media
politicians?
Matters criticizes usually right-leaning media.
Right.
So they're
and political people. They go after politicians.
Yeah. So they're doing it they're claiming that they're.
But their goal was to do fact checking only, and now they're just abusing their privileges.
Well, the IRS, listen, on the left and right, they don't investigate nonprofits.
Right, that's it.
And
And one
especially
guy, David Brock, received $2 million, and just like that,
Well, the funny story is, I think David
say,
Brock
you-
used to be a Republican.
You
and
could
it-
start a nonprofit too, Heshy.
As a matter of fact, we just did start a nonprofit. I
see?
joined an organization, a Serenity Now, that we're opening up a cancer garden for women. For anybody. Anybody's allowed to come there, but her mother died from breast cancer. I'm
sorry.
So
Sorry to hear
we did that, and she put me on the board, and we finally got our 501c. It's going to be a beautiful 10-acre garden with different areas of resting and healing that when you come out of the hospital or treatment.
Sounds like the right
And
use
I
of a
also,
nonprofit.
I also want to give two shots. First of all, I want to thank everybody on WNEW for tuning in for the first time. Our friends over at WSNR, also WJPR in Miami. And I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Justin Parsley, the first real wrestler from my SportsWire radio friends. Also, he is one half of the XCW Tag Team Champions. He's tuned in. He says thanks for the conversation and wants to say God bless to each and every one of us. And I will see
Thank
Mr.
you.
Parsley tomorrow night. Plug myself on YouTube at SportsWire Radio 6570. In fact, I actually got credited, Heshy, because I had interviewed the #1 independent British wrestler in the entire scene. Yep, and I had another wrestler that's conversely the #1 deathmatch wrestler in the world right now. So I really want to thank all my supporters.
By the way,
out there.
Tom's listeners agree with me. He should stop eating Wendy's and eat normal meat.
No, they're happy with me. They just want me to be on the air. You
Okay.
have, like it's like you, Heshy, in wrestling. You're big in the news. I'm big in the wrestling.
No, I
world.
want you to stop eating Wendy's.
No, they actually want me to eat right.
Yeah?
Right. They like it. They like me having the big gulps on you. They think it's funny. Like you know how you make funny jokes, but less on Nicole though. That's all.
Yeah.
Here's the
I'm not part of his show.
Here's the thing. We all scream about Israel and Gaza and the Palestinians. You forgot about the Ukraine war because it's old news.
Biden
But it's
didn't
still
forget
going
about
on.
it.
People are dying. People are getting killed. And Russia, who nobody's criticizing because they're killing all those people, now a guy by the name of Alexei Navalny.
I'm glad you said that, Heshy,
Okay.
not me.
No, but that's what his name is.
Pretty
And
Pretty-
how much
pretty good.
money did Biden just forward over to Ukraine? Look, come on, let's hear it.
200 million.
Right. So
But he wants 60 billion, Zelensky.
Zelensky can go fly a kite. I mean, I'm going to get a lot of hate from Ukrainian friends, but I seriously,
we've been
Look,
funding this war.
we've been funding this war. There's no push for real diplomacy to happen.
Right.
The war.
And he can stop the war in a minute.
Yeah,
Zelensky,
how come
by
nobody's
making
telling
a
them to go
deal.
for a ceasefire? What's up with that?
Right.
No, they need to go. They need to be brought to the table and negotiate and work something out.
Right.
There's a lot of people
But
being
we're
killed.
not doing that. We're not even mixing it, but we're going after Israel and Gaza's who are actually murdering.
We're blocking any real diplomacy, the United States, from really happening there.
Yeah.
And innocent people are getting killed. I'm sorry. I'm against war as much as possible. And Zelensky is not the guy who's going to win a war against Putin. I'm sorry to say that. you know?
But so now, either way, Putin is still a bad man.
Yeah, he's gotta go.
And
He's
now
gotta
his biggest opponent for the next election, which they say Putin's dead, and a copycat. What's it called again? When somebody looks
A doppelganger?
Like him? A double.
Yeah,
A double
I know.
has taken
Doppelganger, yeah.
over. A double has taken over for Putin, and the people around him are rushing.
AI,
really,
AI Zelensky.
whatever. But his #1 opponent, Alexei Navalny, reportedly went missing from prison. He's in prison. They put him in prison. He did nothing wrong. They put him in prison, and he's missing. So they asked the prison, where is he? Oh, we don't care about one prisoner. If people get lost in our system. This is the #1 guy who you put in prison, who is the competitor for the president, and you don't know where he is. And yeah, we lose people in our prisons all the time. We know he's dead. And by the way, he was poisoned a week after.
I
he
think
was
the word
arrested.
is he
And-
disappeared.
And I want to point out, because we're getting them each and every week, Superfly says this show's too short. So that's another. Last week,
Oh, I
Just
like you,
Bailey said
Superfly.
that. Superfly said the show is going too short and that she wants more. And Infinite Justice, by the way, as finally somebody sees my side of things in the wrestling world, has a name for you. They call you the Ultimate Heshy, just like the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh,
He used to run into the
Just
ring.
call
and
me Big
he
H.
No, the Ultimate Heshy is good because sometimes you go way over the top. And by the time you kind of go over the top, you almost have to kind of stop and you almost kind of lose your
That's
composure.
George, stop.
That was the
George
ultimate.
is the one that
big-
pulls you back from the edge every time.
But that
I
was
know
the
that.
Ultimate Warrior, Heshy, who was known for
Does
running
Big
the
H
ropes.
stand for Big Heshy or Big Hemorrhoids?
Ah, ding, ding,
Well,
ding.
well,
And
it
with
looks
that,
You know that we're going to have to play a joke on him one day when he's not looking. But I want you to know, you think you're a big wrestling fan.
Yes, I am.
In 1979,
Yes.
1980, I started watching wrestling when it first started.
Time of the
I
dinosaurs.
watched the first #1. It was called
Bob Backlund?
No, Bob Backlund, and the guy who used to dress up.
WrestleMania?
First WrestleMania.
That was
What was
1985.
the big wrestling?
Wow,
at-
Tom. Wow.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
It was Hulk Hogan, Mr. T against Roddy Piper, and Mr. Wonderful
But
Paul.
no,
Walker.
Wow.
Okay, go Tom.
Yeah, I loved Hulk Hogan until he started saying anti-Semitic remarks and beating his wife.
Well, he did get in trouble, but let's not repeat that on the air. But on that note, obviously, we want to thank everybody. I want everybody to have a happy Hanukkah. Be safe out there. And next week, I want to hear maybe if you have any New Year's resolutions, you want to talk some fun, maybe you want some other types of advice, want to talk about some things about the holidays, give us a call at 646-974-1580.
By the way, tomorrow is the 8th and last day of Hanukkah, and we have a tradition. Send Heshy money. No, I'm joking. I wish. It would be so nice. But happy Hanukkah to you all. I'm going to make, tomorrow with all the 8 candles, I'm going to make a special video.
And Johnny
send it
wants
out.
8 to 10. And he also says he'll bring Ruglik from Lakewood.
Rugalik.
He'll
Oh,
bring
yes.
it.
I love
He
Rugalik.
wants 8 to 10.
Rugalik are the
8
little
to 10.
chocolate Danishes. They
We
melt
may
in
have
your
an
mouth.
announcement
And
to
Shake
make.
Shake
Somebody
Simi. And by
pregnant?
the way, Hulk Heshy, by the way. Hulk Heshy.
Okay,
Hulk
okay.
Heshy.
What's the announcement?
What's it now? Who's pregnant?
No.
Thank
First
God.
of all, God forbid.
Right.
Second,
love
relax.
you, thank you.
Relax. One of these days, I'm going to find like a really nice Jewish boy, and then
Right.
all of your dreams
So,
about checking me out are over.
so you are
They're
giving
gonna
me
be
permission?
over.
You give me permission to find
No, unless you can find like a really nice Jewish guy from like Minnesota or something. No.
them? Why Minnesota?
No, because that's where they're polite. So no, right? So beyond that,
Kansas.
beyond that,
You know there's a Jewish community in Canada.
for those of you that want extended content, stay tuned. We may be doing that in the coming weeks. We'll have an announcement to make in January.
It's definitely in the works.
It's in the works.
We're going to blow it up. Thank you. Play the music.
And Shake.